Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the GTHub Podcast. I am once again Forza R18, and joining me again this week is Joshua Jones Commentary,
Ooh, very formal. Hello.
Mikhail24RD,
Aye.
and Robolo97.
Sup?
And with that, we'll jump right into the big race of the weekend, the IndyCar season finale at Sonoma Raceway.
Yes. Who won it?
Pagano.
I'm
Short,
joking.
sweet, right to the
I'm
point.
joking. I
I have no patience for a formal rundown. We're just gonna go straight to who won it.
Yeah.
So,
What kind of champagne did the winner drink? What?
Oh god.
Good question, actually. I think it was Corbel.
I've never heard of it. Anyway,
It's
carry
California, and you wouldn't understand.
It's wine country. Sonoma. Yeah.
It was a joke, Mikhail.
I know. It's over my head, isn't it? Or on.
Yep.
Anyways.
Specifically when I actually gave him the answer to his question, but anyway.
Anyways, let's go. So let's talk about the race. There wasn't really a lot of.
Yes, let's talk about the race.
There wasn't really a lot of. I think there was 0 cautions on this whole race, isn't it? Not a lot of issues, really. There have been moments, but not really big issues.
Was it caution? Yeah, it was caution-free, that's right. Yeah.
I already seen, I think there's, a few issues with some of the drivers. I think Sao has an issue.
Well, Sato had, 2 issues. You know, Sato had a puncture in the beginning. Tony Kanaan had a puncture as well.
And then Rossi
Or
had
a
an
wing
issue.
something like that. Well, he had an engine issue. That was throughout the day.
Damn. And then I think Daly got pushed off into the,
Or something. I don't even think it was an engine issue. I think it was actually an electronic gremlin in the end.
yeah, and I think also Daly, I saw, in the highlights, I think got pushed off, I think. I don't know by who, though.
Possibly.
But yeah, it's not a big issue. Just they're just cars just not working. But in the end, though, it's Penske 1, 2,
Well, anyway,
3.
going to the beginning of the race. Qualifying was Joseph Newgarden on pole, who set a new track record in the process, and picked up the bonus point. So he got 4 points leading into the finale. That all-important extra point from taking pole. And then the top 3 was basically the other Penske cars, with Takuma Sato and Scott Dixon. So the top 5 challengers to the championship started in the top 5.
And as you mentioned, some of them have problems, basically.
Basically, yeah. Well, actually, no, none of the championship leaders had any problems. They were all running in the top 6 the whole...
No, but then you
well,
have...
pretty much almost the
But then you
entirety
have,
of the race.
the other drivers that were, used to be in the championship, used to be, like Sato, and everyone.
Well, he was never in contention.
Anyway.
Never truly, anyway. I mean, mathematically.
Well, he was, but not coming into the finale. He wasn't mathematically in contention. The only 2 that had outside chances of winning the championship were Graham Rahal and Alexander Rossi. But both of them pretty much needed everyone in front of them to fall out. And in the case of, well, which was the case of Graham Rahal, he literally needed the top 6 to fall out in front of him, and then he could win. And Alexander Rossi just needed the first 5 to fall out. So basically they weren't really in with a shot, even though they had a mathematical chance.
Yeah.
And of course, nothing really
Can you
happened.
imagine if Graham? Can you imagine if Graham Rahal won it though? Wouldn't that be a story? I mean, possibly even more than if Elio Castroneves won it.
Well, then you have to
Yes.
blame the double points for that. That's
Yeah.
why they're...
You sound like Robin Miller now.
No, I'm fine with double points. I'm just saying, if that's the case, people will be blaming for it by complaining. Now, I'm not complaining.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, if you start sounding like everyone else, oh, double points is awful, it's terrible, it doesn't need to be there. But just like,
People want to
I'm
get used
fine.
to it. It's not as worse as the playoff thing in NASCAR. So
Exactly. It's not the worst gimmick possible. It's something that you understand going into it.
yeah,
Double
exactly.
points
So
for the finale.
I'm not really that worried.
Yeah, it's just that I suppose people see, well, including me, see the finale as basically just another race. It's the championship that you have to focus on, and in a championship, every race should be just as important as the others. Maybe with the exception
Well,
of the...
take that up with the WC and how they give double points
Yeah.
for Le Mans. But there you
Well,
go.
yeah, the thing is, Le Mans and the Indy 500, they're different. They're big, proper
And that's
events.
also another thing. The thing I don't understand that actually bothers me is giving out qualifying points for the Indy 500. That's just stupid.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. That's not even a race. It's qualifying.
It's double points as well for qualifying, which is even more stupid. That's the thing they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, and
What, so
hopefully...
you actually get more points for qualifying than the race?
Yes,
Really?
Yeah.
you get no. This is how weird it is for the Indy 500. For some reason, they have qualifying points for something that doesn't matter anymore. That is just a tradition because no one gets. They only get 33 cars for the Indy 500 now.
What?
Barely.
Only 33?
But they still reward qualifying points.
Because
Well,
it,
for people.
33 is quite a
Plus-
big number, I must say.
no, but it used to be more than that.
You clearly have no idea how the Indy 500
It used to be like
works.
40,
There is
like 40 qualifiers.
traditionally a field of 33.
Yes, but that was complete unsafe madness.
That's not... No, here's... Can I explain real quick?
The Indy 500 has always been 33 cars. There have usually, traditionally, historically, been more than 33 people show up to qualify for the field of 33. That's what Bump Day used to be for.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because Bump Day was a day where people will try to get in despite the fact, it's basically like the last day.
Yeah, they literally, Bump Day were the people that literally showed up with the trailer, and some guys showed up and went, oh, I'm going to make a run for the 500.
I understand what you were saying now. Never mind. I completely
Yeah.
misunderstood that.
They give out qualifying points for qualifying, which is redundant at the Indy 500. And then they give double points for the Indy 500 itself.
Which is why
Yeah,
Sato...
I can sort
So,
of
yeah.
understand that, because, let's face it, the Indy 500, that's what everyone associates with IndyCar. It's the big event. And
Well, no, that's not the problem I have with it.
That's why-
I just don't think they
that's
should
why
be
it's
giving
called
qualifying
IndyCar,
points.
because
That's
it's
the
Indy.
only problem.
yeah.
But going back to the Sonoma race.
Yes.
It was Simone Pagenaud who was fourth in the championship fight, and basically did all he could to win the championship by winning with a brilliant strategy move over Joseph Newgarden. Because in the end, he gapped him and just ran away with not run away with the race. He was like finished a second in front of Joseph Newgarden, who literally did the bare minimum of winning the championship by just shadowing Pagenaud at
Well,
the
that's
end.
all you need to do. At the end of the day,
Well, exactly.
it's
He
the
had
driver
a
with
he
the
had a
most
gap,
points, yeah.
and he started on pole, and he was pretty much the dominant car for the whole race. But he just was running up front, and when Pagenaud gapped him, because Pagenaud was doing a last-minute Hail Mary to try and win the championship, like I think I told you he was going to do last week.
Yes, you did.
So, finally get one of my predictions right. He pulled out a last-minute strategy call and ended up winning the race, but wasn't enough to get the championship in the end.
Where would he have needed Pagenaud to finish to get... not Pagenaud, Newgarden to finish to get the championship?
When he did what he needed to do, he just needed to finish the race basically in front of everyone else.
No, I mean... Well, yes, but Pagenaud didn't win the championship. Where
no,
would he have...
Pagenaud needed to win, lead the most laps, and needed Newgarden to finish outside the top 10, I believe.
Ah, okay, that wasn't going to happen.
Which was never going to happen at a Penske track.
So Newgarden had basically won the championship before the race.
He wanted to put his smashing on the field, which is what he was well on his way to do, because he got pole with a ridiculous lap. That was I think, almost nearly a full half a second faster than the nearest Penske car.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was a monster
Wow.
all weekend long. He was quick.
And
Yeah,
this...
you can tell with results like that he could taste that championship.
Well, he had it in the bag, really. He did a masterful champion's drive to win the championship. And he also joins other Team Penske drivers. I think he joins Rick Mears and one of the Unsers as the only driver to win a championship for the captain in his first year for driving for Roger Penske.
Wow.
So he's in rarefied air. He is literally Penske perfect, Joseph Newgarden.
So we might see.
He does pretty much sum up that team, yeah, I must say.
So we might see a legend from him, I guess. Might see a bit like a new era.
Joseph Newgarden is a legend in the making. Yeah. If you did not know who he was coming into the weekend, you know who Joseph Newgarden is now.
Yeah, of course.
Because he had a perfect season, almost a perfect season.
At least I don't have to think about Joseph Newgarden as like the other stuff, like his.
Because he did one better than Simone Pagenaud did in his first year. Simone Pagenaud was nowhere in his first year with Penske, like literally nowhere. He didn't win a race in his first year with Penske. He took his second year to win the title and to win races. Joseph Newgarden clicked immediately from the minute he got there.
I must say, though, the championship results do say a lot about how good the IndyCar organisers are, because from a Formula One fan's point of view, it doesn't actually look, when looking at the championship results, like Newgarden did dominate it, because he didn't win that many races. What was it, 3? But that's just how IndyCar is. That's
just to give you a sense of how competitive this year was.
Yeah.
There were 17 races on the IndyCar schedule this year. Take a guess at how many different winners there were.
10.
Ooh, 8?
Ooh,
Who
9?
said 10?
I said it. I said 10.
That's because I told you that's why.
No, of course. But yeah, 10.
Yeah, but there were 10 different winners in 17 races.
Wow.
Wow.
My goodness, that's
Yeah.
quite amazing.
If that's not competitive, I don't know what is.
It was
Oh,
pretty.
that's competitive, alright.
It's pretty damn hype, really.
And keep in mind, this is with aero kits with distinct advantages over one another. And it was pretty equal between Honda and Chevy.
Next
year,
year,
which was surprising.
we might have a.
And next year,
Yeah.
we get the lovely, lovely looking new body
Oh.
kits, which are simply amazing.
We need it.
I think I might be the only person who's not really a big fan of that, but yeah.
Wow,
I might be the only
really?
person missing the current spec aero kits we have now, just simply because
No.
of the physical demands they actually placed on the drivers.
Well, actually, you say that, but talking to there have been reports that Racer.com and Racer Magazine have done, asking people who used to drive the old kart cars and champ cars, and they said that the next year's car, the 2018 Indy car, would probably actually be more physical, because you would actually have to manhandle the car because there'd be less downforce.
That's true.
It kind of has the feel of like the older cars back then in a way, but even
Well, I say less downforce. There's about, I think, 500 pounds less downforce, but that's actually not that much of a loss of downforce, because they've lost the front arrow of the wings and the rear wings, and they've moved to an underbody arrow. So what they lose is kind of actually gained by making it a lot closer to race, because you don't have all that arrow wash and all that.
and it looks really good too.
I think it looks a
does
bit
look
basic.
nice.
I think it looks a bit basic.
That's
actually.
the point. It looks like an Indy car.
Yeah, it's supposed to be basic. I know that, but it's just. I suppose I got into IndyCar in the DW12 era, so I think of IndyCar very differently to the way that someone from the 90s would think of it.
The aero kits were an improvement over the stock DW12, but nothing compares to the new 2018 car. It's just and particularly because it's the same car underneath as this year's car that was run in 2012, but it's just a new body kit, but it's the same car. That's the brilliant thing of this. It's the same chassis, it's just a different body kit.
My goodness, you're actually welling up over it.
It's fantastic. They have common sense on their side.
By the way,
I'm going to have to wait and see how good the racing it produces is. I'm not really a big fan of how it looks. It just, as I said, it just looks a bit basic, and racing isn't basic in my opinion. But let's see what racing it produces. I think I am going to follow IndyCar
Just
next
for
year.
shame.
Can I look at the top 10?
Yes, bring up a point. Yes.
Can you check the top 10 for the standings? If it's okay for you guys?
Okay.
Oh, do you have them up?
Alright, so obviously the champion for this year is Joseph Newgarden with 642 points and 4 wins. Second place is Simon Pagino with his win in Sonoma. Still cannot finish it. 13 points behind. Third place is Scott Dixon with 621 points and a win. Fourth place, and I think this might be his last year, Elio Castaneves with 44
good
points.
Good performance.
Very, very good performance. Hopefully he might stay, but if not, then hope for the best for him. Fifth place would be Will Power with 562 punches, basically 80 points back with 3 wins. I don't know what happened to him. Probably not really the most best of seasons. Sixth place, Graham Rahal with 2 wins from Detroit, and has 120 back.
Not from Detroit. From Detroit.
Yes.
I said from Detroit. Yeah, sorry about that. Seventh place is Alexander Rossi with his win at Watkins Glen, 148 back. Your Indy 500 winner, basically, in 8th place, Takuma Sato, 201 back. 9th place is Ryan Hunter with Ray with basically no chance whatsoever. Didn't really have the best of seasons. And 10th place...
The worst season possible.
For now, I guess. And for, I think, 10th place, which is the last top 10, Tony Kanaan with 339 back. And the rest you could just take a look on Google.
The rest were hardly worth mentioning.
No, there's one person, though, that won a race, but it's off. It's James Hinchcliffe.
Did he really finish that far back? He really finished that far back?
Yeah, it was that severe.
Oh, wow, he did finish that far back, yeah. He had an awful year, I forget.
What did he win, though? I forgot.
Hinchcliffe, he won Long Beach, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah. And I'm the person who was in Long Beach. Shit. It was a while, so you got to admit.
I was going to say, you were probably there watching it. You don't even remember him winning the race
yeah,
you were literally at.
I think it doesn't even matter because of what happened to it the rest of the season.
Well, winning doesn't guarantee you doing well in the season.
Yeah, so I guess it wasn't just a good year. But yeah, can't wait for the...
It wasn't a good year. Well, he had a better year than Ryan Hunter-Ray, but which just goes to show you how consistent Ryan Hunter-Ray was. He won nothing, but he was probably 3 races more consistent than
Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe, yes.
Now here's another...
I blanked on his name.
Now here's another interesting question. What could Bourdais have done without his accident? Because he won the first race of the year and he was actually looking very, very quick.
He won the first race of the year. He finished second in the second race of the year. He led the points into Detroit.
Yeah, he was looking very quick at the start of the year.
Heck,
and he probably actually would have won the pole for the Indianapolis 500 had he not crashed on his qualifying lap.
I think he was third.
I'm wondering what he could have done.
He was third in Long Beach as well, to point that out as well, so I remember that. Third.
Yes, he got a podium at Long Beach, that's right. Well, that's why he had the point lead going into Detroit. And then he lost it to Pagano, I think. Because Newgarden didn't get the point lead until after Mid-Ohio.
Because I think
with his win.
I think he also had a wreck in Phoenix, which wasn't severe. But it's still...
Wait, no, Dixon had the point lead early on.
I know, but...
After Phoenix.
Bourdais got that wreck, right? I think it was...
Bourdais wrecked at Phoenix, and that derailed, his whole season from there.
Basically, and then that...
From there, he had, no luck.
And then, of course, that horrible wreck at the qualifying. Jesus.
How he got out of that with just his injuries, I don't understand.
Have you seen the accident compared to Gordon Smiley's? It's quite shocking how close the footage is.
It's shocking how similar they are, but that's what I mean. How he walked out of a car that went head-on into the wall at 217 miles an hour or something like that.
10 years ago,
that's scrubbed out. No, because that was Gordon Smiley's accident. Literally almost exactly the same crash.
Thank God.
Except not going as quick.
Thank God these cars, even though they were probably quite ugly, they at least save lives, I guess. I mean, injuries, but...
They save lives, yeah, literally they save lives, because Bourdais would not be walking around otherwise.
And not to mention a few years when, like, it always happens in qualifying, someone's gonna get, like, hit hard. Like James Hinchcliffe from, like, I think 2 years ago? If I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's why Hinchcliffe's accident at the Indy 500 is why they have those Xylon intrusion panels, like in the side.
Oh yeah, and also
because those were added on in because of Hinchcliffe's accident.
And
he's another guy that was lucky.
And I think there was a few flips too.
Yes.
Like I think also,
Oh, yeah.
I think El Castaneves flipped, and I think someone else also wrecked as well. I think it was.
I think it was
Newgarden flipped
Carpenter.
as well.
Yeah, Carpenter wrecked as well.
And Carpenter,
that was
yeah.
That was at last year's Indy 500. So.
Yeah,
Not last year's, but
2
it was,
years ago.
I think
2
2 years.
Was it 15?
Yeah, 2015. There
It
you
was
go.
15
Okay,
because this was the year then everyone was flipping over.
Yeah.
Because last year was the one where they added the little. They're called. They call them half domes or something. They put them under the car, and the Honda teams were bitching and moaning about it like all month last year. But they still won, so go figure.
It doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
They seem to have done a good job, though. I mean, we haven't really had any massive flips. Of course, we've had Scott Dixon's and Sebastian Bourdais, but let's face it.
Oh, that's right. He's another lucky man.
Yeah,
oh
Scott
yeah,
Dixon.
I forgot about that.
I had completely forgotten about his crash this year.
Yeah,
I was wondering when someone was going to mention that.
And Helio.
Well, that was not
Because
this.
Helio was going
Oh,
underneath.
yes.
he was underneath him, but he didn't wreck. He went underneath him.
Yeah, he
Oh.
did. And to be honest, if Dixon's car had landed a few seconds earlier, it could have been an absolutely serious crash. But well, it was a serious crash, but I mean serious in terms of physically.
Not to mention what I think Elio was in the air too, like because he was in the apron, his car was
Yeah,
bouncing.
I think
Yeah.
I think at one point he had all four wheels off the ground. So you had a photo of, I think I saw a photo of 2 Indy cars which had the ground sum of 8 wheels.
Castroneves
And 9
literally
of which
went
on the
underneath
ground.
him.
He was in the air and he was underneath the car.
And actually, yeah, Castroneves was in the air and passed underneath Scott Dixon.
Like you cannot make this up. I know this is like a.
That is a picture that exists.
I have the picture as well. I have it as me and right now, and it's like in the gallery. So yeah,
It is amazing picture.
it's beautiful.
how he survived that.
I mean, it's not. I
don't,
mean, not like beautiful as in like it's ugly, but
No, it's beautiful. I'll agree with you. It's beautiful in some fashion.
and not to mention that.
There's something strange about
Not
it.
to mention, Castroneves got second on that.
Did he?
Yeah,
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
behind Sato.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I know we're like making a review of this whole
But
season.
Speaking of Castroneves, before we start going down the review of all the seasons, he probably will be leaving IndyCar at the end of the year.
This should have been an IndyCar special. We really should have done that.
I mean, we're
Well,
doing now.
we could always turn this one into an IndyCar special.
I think we have done. Well, anyway, yeah, Castroneves. To be honest, I think that he's still quite obviously one of the quickest drivers on the circuit. It's a shame that he is probably not going to be driving again next year because he's done so
Oh no
well.
no! He'll be driving next year.
What's that?
He'll be driving
Well,
next
yes,
year.
but not a full season entry.
Well, even that's not certain because everyone thought he was going to go to sports cars with Penske, but there's that nagging thing that maybe Roger Penske's changed his mind and he's going to put him in a 4th car again next year.
Well, I hope so, but it looks. Let's face it. It looks as if Castroneves isn't going to get a drive next year. That's very sad for him because he of course challenged for the title for his entire career and never got it. And I was sort of hoping that he would win it.
Which doesn't diminish his accomplishments at all, really.
No, of course. I mean,
I
he was
mean-
an Indy 500 winner, so
He's a 3-time Indy 500 champion.
3 times. I thought it was twice.
3-time.
Wow.
He's the only one who can still be the 4-time winner in Indy 500.
Has no one ever won it 4 times?
There's only been 3 people who won it 4 times. That's Rick Mears,
Also, people have won
AJ
it 4
Foyt,
times. Yeah.
and I think one of the Unsers.
I think it was
I can't
just
remember.
Al
And-
Unser,
I think it's Al
And the
Unser.
funny part is, Castroneves could have won his fourth IndyCar race, or the fourth Indy 500.
Yeah, he could have won the 4th Indy 500 this year.
He could have won. He could have won it against I think it was Ryan Hunter who also won that race. Won the other races.
Oh yeah, Ryan Hunter Ray in 2014. That was another shot that he could have won.
So
it.
2014 and this year.
With the pass in the grass. Yeah.
I noticed that in the footage of Dixon's accident, Castroneves did actually lose one of the little flaps from his rear wing. So did they ever
Yeah,
replace
he had
that?
to come in and replace that. Yeah.
But
he still ended up finishing second.
It doesn't. Yeah, exactly. So he did pretty well. That's actually a very good drive.
Yeah, just came up short again though. Which, in grand scheme of things, you look back and you go, that's probably the last shot he's going to have at the Indy 500. But
Do you think he
Oh,
was
well.
going to? Do you think he was going to win the race if he hadn't lost that flap?
I don't know.
very possible.
Could
very
be.
possible.
Maybe lost
But
time.
the Hondas were strong all year this year.
It could have been lost time apparently, but it doesn't really matter to be honest.
Well, no, it wasn't lost time in the end. It was just that the Hondas had the pure pace on the Chevys. That's what sealed the deal in the end.
And
That's evident by the fact that the Andretti Hondas were up front the entire race.
yeah, with Sato, Alonso,
Well, all the other Hondas were breaking down.
Rossi, all the others.
Ironically, one of them being Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Alonso. I actually said that.
Where do you think he would have finished if he hadn't broken down? Third?
I'll give.
He probably would have won it.
Yeah,
I
give
don't
him-
think he would have won it, but third was achievable.
No, he was third when his engine broke on him. He was in the top 5.
So
Well,
it could.
he just pitted, so he was technically 8th. But overall and effectively, I
Well,
think
when the pit stops had cycled through, he would have been in the top 3, and he would have been in with a shot to actually win it. So
he would have been in with a shot. Yeah, I don't know if he would have.
he
won
probably actually could have won it, because I think overall his car was stronger
Could have
than
done.
Sato at the
That would
end.
be
it.
fun.
I
That'd
think
be.
he'll win it next year.
Yeah.
It would have been a fun what if though.
Yeah.
I think he'll come back and win it next year. You know.
It'd be funny if it's between.
With who?
What's that?
With who? Who is he going to come back with next year?
And Andretti, McLaren, Honda.
But here's the
yeah,
thing.
right.
Wait, hold on a second. What am I saying? McLaren, Honda. What am I?
Oh, you sly person! I
Wow.
see what you're doing there.
Of course, he's not going to come back with McLaren, Honda. There is no McLaren, Honda. What am I saying?
What
Um,
eight? Oh.
He. Okay, never mind that. He will come back in the future.
We'll
don't know
come
when.
back to this segment that Josh is trying to make in a minute.
Can I add
but I
something?
just want to wrap up a few IndyCar points.
Yes, do
Ca-
before I make a complete fool of myself.
Can I add one thing
Which
though?
I
Go
already have
on.
done.
Yes, go on.
It'll be fun. It'll be a good race if Sato versus Alonso, because I think they raced each other in Formula One.
Well, that's what I was saying, because when Josh was asking me that, that's what I said. I said it would
Yeah.
have been an interesting what if, because Alonso had a way stronger car all throughout the day than Takuma Sato
But
did.
then Sato would be like
Sato
risky.
was in an Andretti Honda, but he had track position.
He would have, yeah, he would have.
Which is why he won.
He would have tried to block the hell out of Alonso or anything. Like he would do.
I mean, not to
anything.
say that he had a terrible car, but he had a Honda and he had track position, which is why he beat Castroneves. But I think Alonso probably would have beaten him, like in a head-to-head.
Would have brought back memories of Alonso versus Sato at the Canadian Grand Prix.
Exactly, that's what I'm
I saw
saying.
that
2007
footage
when
the other day.
Sato was in the Super Aguri.
Like, it,
Wow, there's a name I haven't heard in years.
yeah, I
Aguri.
would. But then,
Super Aguri.
Super Aguri, yeah.
yeah,
Not
but
just
then,
any Aguri, Super Aguri.
Super Aguri. When the regular Aguri will simply not do.
but yeah, basically,
A team. Oh, sorry.
you keep going.
I was going to say.
A team that was so awful that got scrap Honda bits. That's how awful they
No,
were.
it was a team solely put together to keep Takuma Sato in Formula One. I think it literally
That's why
was.
I said the team's so awful
Yep.
it got scrap Honda bits that even Honda looked at and went, we don't want them.
I think I think their very first car was based off like a 2002 Minardi or Arrows or something.
No.
What?
It was not that
You
awful.
know what? I can see the resemblance.
Oh no!
No. There's no way a 2002 Minardi was still racing in 2006.
Well, no, it would
It
have
was-
been based off
There's
it,
no
but-
way.
It was the Minardi or the Arrows. I just couldn't quite remember.
Link it
No,
now.
it did not survive
Link
for
it
that
now.
long.
If you look at
Hold on.
the front wing shape and the bodywork, it's actually. I mean, I'm
No,
I've
I
just got a
refuse
kind
to
of
believe
mental
that's
picture,
right.
But Actually, I can really see the resemblance.
No, that can't be. I refuse to believe that that's correct, if that is the case.
These are only rumours, I should point out.
I know, but
yeah.
still, if that is actually the case, I
It's
refuse to believe
arrows.
that car survived.
They were.
You're shitting me.
No, they were genuinely.
It is not an Arrows.
It's basically, I'm quoting the article from GP Rejects here. Great website, by the way. Former Minardi owner Paul Stoddart had no further use for a set of Arrows A23s, which he had purchased
No,
to
it is not an
assets
Arrows chassis.
over his own Minardi cars. And
No!
it
So
would
the
work.
Super Aguri
and
really
it-
should have been racing in Boss GP.
No wonder the Super Aguris were so awful. They were old cars.
That's quite amazing.
Oh my god.
I just thought they were awful because they had awful drivers.
See, this is why Tico Masato is actually a good driver. Boom.
Well, no one ever said he was awful. He just had awful luck when his Hondas were exploded on him, quite literally, when he was running well.
What?
Every time.
The more we know.
That was when engine failures actually were like grenades. They literally grenaded.
Not like the ones we have now.
No, those are weak. Even the new Hondas aren't even proper engine blowups.
Wow, at least you learned something, Forza.
I am shocked that, oh my god. That is just appalling.
Yep.
And
And,
we-
of course, Sato's teammate was Yuji Ide.
Oh
Well,
my
briefly.
god.
Yeah, briefly, admittedly, because he was so bad, he actually got his super license revoked.
Why do Yuji Ide? Why do I know that name?
Super
oh my god,
GT
he's a Super
probably.
GT driver.
Super GT
Yes,
and
that's
Formula Nippon,
right.
as it was back
Hey,
then.
Ironically, I think he's a Super GT driver for Aguri.
Also-
He is, yeah. Basically, he had his super license revoked, so he went to race in Super Formula instead.
Is he
But-
bad right now, by the way? That guy?
Yeah,
He's
how's he-
driving
how's-
the Bentley.
yeah.
He's driving the Bentley, I think, in the GT300
Yes,
class.
I think
so
you're right.
that probably, well, that says it all, really.
So,
Well, no, I
Oh.
like the Bentley. I mean, my
The Bentley's
sure
been
Kazuo
terrible.
has given
The
Yeah.
Bentley's good everywhere else
Yeah.
besides Super
Yeah.
GT. They cannot find pace to save their life in Super GT.
The Bentley's been pretty bad this year in GT300.
You know, ironically, I think the Bentley's terrible in Super GT because it's too big for Japanese tracks. I think that's the problem.
well,
no Japanese tracks are too small for it. It's that way round.
Well, either way you look at it.
but we'll talk about Super GT in like a few weeks because I think they're gonna have like a few more races coming up.
Oh god, I don't know when the last race
I
is.
think
They've
it's
had
only
too long of gaps.
I think it's only Buriram and Motegi that are left.
We'll talk.
It's sometime in October.
We'll talk
yeah.
about that in the
But-
next podcast.
Anyway. Now I've forgotten what I was going to bring up.
So,
Right, I was going to talk about IndyCar still. Before Super Aguri
Back
got
forth,
brought
back
up.
forth.
do your points. Finish your points, and then we'll move on.
Yes, I was going to bring up news items about IndyCar, particularly.
Tristan Gormandy.
Yes,
'Cause that's
because we didn't get to
broke.
talk about that last
Yes,
week.
it
Because that broke right when we finished the podcast.
Literally within 20 minutes of us actually finishing recording,
Drop in the
there
link
was
now.
news about...
Have you seen the news about Tristan Gormandy
No,
and the Indy 500 next year?
no.
Well, Tristan Gormandy will be driving the number 77 Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports Honda
What?
Nice.
next year in the Indy 500. Yes,
No way.
with backing from one of the former owners of the Ligier team
I think it was
in
LaRousse.
F1
Wow.
of LaRousse. Yes, that ran Ligier's.
Yeah.
And who is currently an owner of the Signatech Alpine team in the WEC.
IndyCar 500
Yeah,
next year is gonna be hype.
Isn't he a silver rated driver or
Platinum, I think.
Well,
platinum?
he's platinum.
Oh,
I think. Platinum, silver,
well-
whatever. But driver ratings don't matter in IndyCar, so yeah.
Yes, but I honestly thought he was a lot lower rated than he actually is. Oh dear. I must say he's one driver I don't really know much about.
Well, in fairness, you're in my shoes because I read the thing on it and it went, "Hang on, he was a kart driver."
Was he?
Yes.
Yes.
It was
See,
that
that was
long ago.
that was my confusion.
Wow.
He was in kart when the series died.
In 2007. That's how long
Yes.
ago it was.
I
That's
honestly,
how unmemorable it
yeah,
was.
I knew his name. I knew his name, but what's he doing now? I can't remember. Is he in the WEC?
WEC, yeah, WEC LMP2 for Jackie Chan.
TDS
DC
Racing. Oh, is
Right.
it DC Racing? I thought it was TDS.
You mean?
Oh no, he was driving for TDS last year.
Wait, are you
Never
talking
mind.
about the Jackie Chan car? Is it DC?
Jackie Chan
Yeah.
DC Racing? Yes.
Yeah, that's a good-looking car. Besides the name of the team.
Yes, but we're not going to go sidetracked off into that thing.
So
The other major news point of that entry is that French TV will be broadcasting the Indy 500 live the entire week of the Indy 500.
I want to live in France.
So that's why that's a major point.
nice. So I guess more people are gonna watch it. More fans.
Exactly. All of France will be watching the Indy 500 live.
That's
And
actually a
Because
really
we'll be
good
having
idea.
a live TV
yeah.
package.
And also watching Simon Pagenaud as well.
Yeah, that's.
And Sebastian Bourdais.
Oh yeah, and Bourdais as well. Crikey.
How could you forget the most important French driver?
What? Oh my God, we all forget.
How do you forget Pagenaud? He's literally the most important French driver.
No, you forgot Bourdais. I think Bourdais.
Yeah, I forgot Bourdais.
Oh, I meant. See, now I did what you did. Never mind. I'm an
Wow.
idiot. Forget. Moving on. The other news of IndyCar is the signing of Zach Veach to the 4th car to replace Takuma Sato.
Boo.
Really?
Fucking boo.
Wow, the crickets tell me everything I didn't know about that news. Apparently, I'm the only one that heard it.
I mean, I know
Sato
Sato.
after winning the 500 isn't going to get a seat next year.
No, he's going to get seat.
No,
he's going to go
Takuma
Rahal.
Sato is going to Rahal Letterman Lanigan.
The
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 he's
same
been all
to
over
be
the
Graham
place
Rahal's
recently, hasn't
teammate.
He was at Dale Coyne, I think.
No,
Wasn't he?
No.
no.
What's the blue and red car? What
Takuma Sato
what was he?
was with Rahal Letterman,
Oh no, so he's
and
going
then he
back
went,
there.
and then he went to AJ Foyt,
Ah, that's the team I'm thinking of.
and
Yeah.
then he went
I knew
to
it was a
Andretti.
name. Some
And-
kind of name.
And ironically, he's going back to Rahal, where
And
he
you know-
almost won the first Indy 500 with.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, 2012. He was about to make that one move, and
Yeah.
then he spun out.
Though, well, he almost wrecked Franchitti in the process. Yes.
Like risky, but
I
damn.
haven't seen that one actually.
I would have done that move
It was
too.
the 2012 Indy 500. Well, that's why AJ Foyt hired him. Actually, ironically,
Why?
it was on that one move alone.
Really?
Yeah, I believe that was why AJ Foyt hired him.
Fired.
He was fired for different reasons. Mainly, he didn't want the Honda anymore. That's why Sato was fired.
And yet,
Um,
Sato wins the Indy 500 with Andretti.
Ironically, yeah.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
IndyCar, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, Zach Veach will be in the 26 next year for a 3-year deal.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets 3 years with a massive sponsor
He,
next for the next 3 years.
I must say,
A $20 million deal for the next 3
wow.
years.
I don't know much about Zach Veach, but a lot of people have been saying he's probably a bit too weak to race an IndyCar fast.
Yes, if you've ever seen him, he looks like a 12-year-old boy. That's not a joke either. He is that
Yeah.
small of a person.
so he's basically like us
yeah.
in a way.
He actually, you know what? Now that you bring it up, he probably does look like you, Mikhail.
Oh shit!
Not even joking. He's like your body type.
So
Not even joking.
So basically, we'll see if he does well at IndyCar, then I should be at IndyCar.
Like, literally, Zach Veach is going to have to bulk up to be the bulkiest human being you've ever seen to be in an IndyCar next year.
I need to see him next year, for sure. And
Next year, he's gonna look like Connor Daly.
so let's go vegan.
He's literally going to just be spending half the winter just
Literally,
doing
the
weights.
off-season is gonna be him bulking up.
It's literally benching.
To be honest, I wouldn't want to be in his situation because
He's gonna be the world's heaviest person because he's gonna have to bulk up on carbs and weights.
Jesus.
He's gonna have the busiest off-season possible. Not
see how
because
he
he's
does.
gonna
In the
be
gym.
training. He's gonna just be building up muscle mass.
well,
Bit-
let's see how he does. I mean, I've been surprised in the past.
So
I think
No, Zach Beach will do well. He's a really quick driver. It's just funny that
Yeah.
when you look at him, you go, hang on, that scrawny little guy is going to be in an IndyCar next year.
With no power steering.
Yes.
I think the same thing about Lando Norris. Actually, I think he
Well, in fairness, you could get away with being lanky in F1 because they have power steering.
true, but
You couldn't drive.
well, no, but you
Literally,
need to,
I don't
let's
think he
face it,
could
you need to
drive
have
an
neck muscles
IndyCar
for
without
F1.
power steering. He doesn't have the upper body strength.
Yeah. Let's face
Which
it.
is
though,
why
you-
it would be
you do
interesting
need
to see
neck
what an
muscles
F1
for
driver
F1.
could do.
So we'll see how he does in the IndyCar, Zach. And also, what other things will be happening? Who's going to be leaving IndyCar and who's going to be joining IndyCar? Wait, basically, this is the
Tony Kanaan apparently is leaving Ganassi and going to AJ Foyt next year.
Okay.
That's interesting.
On a multi-year deal, I suspect.
And-
but
Then who's leaving?
going from a Ganassi to an AJ Foyt car is kind of just, I don't know where his head's at, but he wants to be an IndyCar, so they'll have him.
But then who's leaving AJ Foyt then? It's the dominoes starting to fall.
I suspect that one might be one Mr. Carlos Munoz.
That sounds
because
about
I
right.
think
Wow.
Connor Daly's staying.
The bad luck is so bad with Munoz. Like he didn't really.
Unless they add a third car, he's gone.
I've also heard rumours of Max Chilton possibly leaving too. Is that?
Well, Chilton and Kimball are leaving Ganassi.
Everyone's just gonna leave
the thing
Ganassi.
is- Well, they're cutting down to 2 cars next year.
Why?
That's pretty much the thing. Well, because one, they don't have a sponsor for Dixon still. That's one thing.
Hashtag blame Target.
And secondly, he doesn't. Well, yeah, and he doesn't want to have the dead weight of having 2 extra cars taking away the effort of the 2 good cars. So yeah.
So okay, that's gonna be interesting.
But interestingly enough, the second car, the number 10, is looking like it's going to go to Brendan Hartley.
That guy, the one who used to drive a Porsche.
Yeah,
Yes, that guy.
You know, that guy that's really good. That guy.
That guy who's a 2-time Le Mans 24 hours
Exactly.
winner.
It's interesting how he's going from
And
that.
a world endurance champion.
And currently leading the World Endurance Championship at the moment. More on that later.
That guy who I
Yes.
think could be a serious contender for race wins next year.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
that guy. You know, that guy that's really impressive. But, you know, you wouldn't think so according to IndyCar fans who know nothing.
Well, I heard about.
I must say,
well, because
if there's one driver I do know about, it's Brendan Hartley.
Everyone knows about Brendan Hartley
Yeah.
if they know anything about anyone.
I mean, I heard of him during when he raced for. I think he raced for in Daytona 24 Hours last year for Nissan.
he's currently employed by Tequila Patron.
Yeah. So
ESM.
I'm right. So he.
Yes, but he's a quick driver in anything you put him in. So in IndyCar, he's gonna be a monster on a road course.
I would not be surprised.
I said at the time it
And with
was
Scott
announced.
Dixon as his teammate on an oval, that guy's gonna be quick.
I was at Donington Park in 2007. I think it was 2007 anyway, when he was in Formula Renault 2.0, and I think it was probably the first car I remember seeing live. I just remember seeing him absolutely thrashing the competition. He's good in a single seater, honestly.
And
He's good in anything.
Of course.
And he's doing petite this year because ESM have confirmed today that he'll be alongside Scott Sharp and Ryan DL.
Ooh,
Jolly
nice.
good.
Ooh, that is a good lineup.
Oh boy, I think they might win this next race then at IMSA.
In the other
No, I still think it's going to be the 10 Cadillac, but yeah.
when in the other Tequila Patron car, it's Pipo Derani,
Van Overbeek and
Van Overbeek, and Scott Sharp.
Senna.
It's not Scott Sharp.
Hey?
Yeah, it'll be Bruno
They
Senna.
have 4?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because Durrani
yeah.
moved over because of Ed Brown's retirement from prototype racing.
Yeah, Durrani's in the 2, isn't he?
Yeah, 'cause, it's-
Durrani was in the 2.
No, isn't he still in the 2?
No, he's moved over to
Durrani
the...
moved cars, but I don't
Oh
know
no,
which way
yeah,
round
you're
he
right.
did
He's
it.
in the
Yeah.
22. Yes.
And
bad.
more Tequila Patron ESM news, Scott Sharp and Ryan DL are actually going to be continuing in the same car next year.
Jolly good.
In fairness, I don't think that's really news. I mean, they confirmed Van Overbeek and Durrani already, so I think it was kind of a matter of signing the contracts.
Well, ESM.
I don't think they were going anywhere.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and one of them's the team co-owner, in fairness.
Exactly. Scott Sharp owns the team. He was
Yeah.
definitely not moving anywhere.
So yeah, we'll talk about that race maybe in a few weeks, hopefully. When is that race? The petite.
Yes.
When?
But bringing up IMSA, this weekend is the IMSA weekend at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Yay.
Oh, that's
Oh,
going to
right.
be awesome for the Conti race, because the Conti's a longer race. I think it's 4 hours.
4-hour Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge race on
Excellent.
Saturday.
And am I also right?
And they'll be racing into the sunset,
Yeah.
I think.
And am I right in thinking that Memo Gidley's going to be in that race as well?
Yes! Memo Gidley will be making his second race, because he was just this weekend racing in Sonoma in the Pirelli World Challenge.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it's World
Yes.
Challenge from what I read. Yeah.
Two different cars as well.
Yeah. Nah, good to see him back
'Cause-
behind the wheel of a race car again after that truly horrific accident back in. God, wasn't it 2014?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
that long ago.
When it was driving
The
for,
Rolex 24 at Daytona.
I think it was driving the Corvette DP, which, by the way, Forza's not happy about it.
That's for another day. He was driving the number 99 Gainsco Bob Stallings racing Corvette DP when that accident happened.
Oh yeah, it's by the way that race is going to be on the 21st and up to the 24th this race weekend. So I hope you have fun, Forza.
Yes, I'll be having a ball. I love Laguna Seca and IMSA. It's fantastic.
Say hi to
Nice.
the Taylor brothers for me.
Yeah, wait in the autograph line for the Taylor brothers.
Yeah, you'll be there a while.
Oh my god.
And also the Corvettes.
Now, I've never seen a race at Laguna Seca. In 15 years of following racing, I've never seen a race at Laguna Seca.
If there's
But-
one of the tracks you have to go to in America, it is Laguna
Yes,
Seca.
of course, definitely. But from what I've seen, there's this one corner that really stands out. You know what I'm going to say? It's the corkscrew.
Yeah, would it be the corkscrew? Yeah.
How on earth does a prototype fit down the corkscrew without getting its whole front splitter torn off?
Oh, it's a brilliant ballet of anything going down the corkscrew, especially when you can hear the splitter
Scraping.
as it
Yeah.
goes down. It is fantastic. Yeah, you just hear the
How
as
is
it
it
goes
legal?
down.
Because it is.
What do you mean, how's it
It
legal?
is.
Because it is. This is America.
Don't worry, it's all good. No one, unless someone will decide not to brake at this corkscrew. And yeah,
You know how on TV it looks steep? Like, you think, oh, that's like,
Yes, it'll look even
that's
even
not that
steeper in real
steep.
life.
You're like, whatever, that's not that drop. You go near the corner, it's like a 6-foot drop from
Isn't it
top to
something-
bottom.
Yeah, isn't it something like double radial?
Yeah, it's insanity, that corner, and I love it.
and I think I have raced on that corner just recently on Project Cars, and boy, it's steep. Oh,
On a simulator, it doesn't do it justice. In person,
Yeah.
that is an amazing thing to see.
I must say, even on a simulator, it's a terrifying prospect.
it is.
I mean, you can't see the corner until you're on it.
Exactly.
No,
you cannot
you can't.
see shit. Like, all you gotta do, you're trying to like brake and then
It is a blind entry from the right to the left,
yeah.
or actually no, from the left to the right.
And if you're not careful, you're gonna get into a wreck, or you'll wreck yourself. It depends. Like what's
Or unless you're Alex Zanardi, then you can overtake someone, but then again, that's Alex Zanardi.
IndyCar is something that needs to happen at Laguna Seca
Zanardi
again, because
overtake-
I would buy tickets to that in a heartbeat.
The Zanardi overtake was the cheat anyway. He cut the whole chicane.
No, you shut up. That was a brilliant pass. That was fantastic.
I disagree.
No, Josh, you're wrong. This is why you're not allowed in America.
Yeah,
How
I
dare you argue with
I
the
must
pass?
say I would
How
not
dare
work
you?
in American racing. I certainly wouldn't.
How dare you argue with the past? That is a brilliant thing that is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year.
It was awful.
No, it was the best move ever.
wow.
in Formula One, he'd be asked to give it back. He would.
That's why F1 is boring and Champ Car and Kart and IndyCar are amazing.
Lol.
You can't cut a chicane and call it a pass.
He did not cut a chicane. He went through the chicane and it worked brilliantly. And everyone thinks it's brilliant, besides you.
Hashtag we need to bring
it
Josh
wasn't
into
an
the
overtake.
United States.
Yeah, Josh needs to come to Laguna Seca and watch a race there, and then he'll instantly understand why that's an amazing
Heck,
move.
I'll go
I
all
must
the way.
say,
Sorry.
it takes a lot of talent. It takes a lot of talent, a lot of bravery, and a lot of craziness to go off the road there and come back on intact. And I have no idea how he did it, but
That
it
is my
wasn't a
point.
pass.
That is why it's amazing, and it's a pass that will stick.
It was
and
an
everyone
amazing
loves.
accident. That's what it was.
No. It was a pass. He was in control that whole time.
Yeah, we're.
Only Alex Zanardi would be the guy who could do it, because if anyone else had tried it, they would not have gotten it, and they both would have crashed. But because it was Zanardi, he was able to do it.
You know what? I would go all the way from Long Beach to Laguna Seca, and I would definitely show Josh how we do here.
And me as well, because
Yeah,
I've never
he
actually been
just-
to America.
Me
Didn't
neither.
He just doesn't know. You two just don't know.
You don't know how we feel.
You just don't know how Americans do racing. It's brilliant.
This is never weird.
Speaking
No,
of
this is perfect.
races in America, there was also a round of the FIA World Endurance Championship.
Rob, I have a serious question for you.
Yes.
No, in all seriousness, I have a serious question for Rob. Don't laugh. If a WEC round happens in Texas, and no one's around to see it, does it happen?
Oh my
I
god.
don't know, actually. The attendance was... trying to be diplomatic here.
There was no one there.
It's
There.
zero.
I said it for you.
Sitch.
Pretty
Nothing.
much.
Well, Rubens Barrichello was there, but that was about it.
There was
He
also a
didn't
school
pay to
bus
be there. That
driver.
doesn't count as a crowd.
Oh yeah, there was a school bus in the
Yeah, there was a
F4.
school bus
Oh,
in the
yeah.
Formula 4.
What was that?
Apparently that was one of the buses that shuttles corner workers across the track.
But why
That
would you?
somehow was allowed on the track when a race was happening.
You noob. Like why?
That makes the NASCAR incident with the ambulance look tame.
What is it with vehicles on the track these days that aren't racing cars? I mean, it's
It's very strange.
I mean,
Sudden
Super
burst.
Super GT does it, and no one bats an eye. But when you have NASCAR and
Super GT does that, and it makes me nervous. And I'm not even there.
No, you're on the other side of the international date line.
I know, and I see that happening. I'm just going, how the hell are they racing at full speed, at full chat? There'll be an ambulance like 3 feet off the racing line,
yeah.
attending to an accident, and there's just cars just speeding by them. I'm just going, how the hell is this madness allowed to happen?
Well, that's why the rate of serious accidents in Japan is a lot higher than in Europe. But
then you have it here with the bus.
well, yes, but that was an
that's
accident.
Just
That was
bad
just
officiating somehow. I don't understand how that happened, and Coda still hasn't explained how that happened.
well.
Nor have they
I
explained... Oh, sorry.
I know this is just a rumor, but I heard that he would the driver was given the all clear to be on the track. So from what I figured out, it was just a chief marshal being utterly asleep.
Coda being asleep at the wheel again, not a shocker, nor the first time that's ever been said.
Oh, dear. Yeah. And...
Because when anything bad management related happens at Coda, you go, huh, that makes sense, because nowhere else would that ever happen.
Is COTA a race circuit or an entertainment
No,
venue?
the answer is no. Coda is an expensive waste of space in Texas.
I like the. Well, actually, I don't like the track, but
No, I think Coda is a brilliant track that if it had been built here in California or elsewhere and had proper racetrack management running it, would be a popular racetrack all year round.
So you said...
Instead, they have a moron running it who thinks it's a concert venue that just happens to allow cars to race there sometimes.
And has an F1 round, which is actually run and promoted by the Formula 1 people, which is why they actually get people
Which
watching
is why
it.
it works. Because Coda isn't touching it.
I actually think that
Forza.
it's quite an irritating track to drive, but it
What?
does produce quite good racing. So it's an okay track to spectate, but I get really annoyed when it comes up in a sim race.
No one is there spectating it.
So you're
Yeah.
so you're saying that you want Coda or something like that, and you want to put it right beside your house, or basically close by.
Yeah, I'd
It'd
do
be
that.
brilliant, yes, actually.
I'd do that.
I mean,
I tell you what, I would ran that track better than they could.
oh,
And I have no management experience.
challenge, huh?
But then again, they have no management experience either. So there you go.
Can you just send a challenge to like Coda right now? Oh god, we're so good, Gabe.
Literally, I could run it, or Josh could run it, or you could run it, or
I
Rob
really
could
don't
run
think
it.
I
And
could,
neither of us have any racetrack management experience. But I bet you we would do a damn sight better than the people who run Coda now.
Does my experience on Football Manager 2008 on my PSP count?
Yes,
as
that's
In
management
sufficient.
fairness, that's probably
experience?
more management experience than they have.
Oh god.
That's absolutely sufficient, yeah.
Hashtag
And I wish that was a joke, but it's true.
hashtag GTHub circuit. Boom, we got a circuit now.
Exactly. That's it. That's a point. Exactly.
Well-
Every one of us could take a turn running the track for a day, and it would do 10 times better than they do now.
I'd be
Not even a joke.
a bit hopeless at the organising and advertising and things like that part, but I wouldn't allow buses onto the track. I know that.
There you
Well,
go.
that's a
See, you've
start.
already improved it. Honestly, I don't understand Coda.
It's-
It is a great track that's wasted by idiotic management.
I was going to say, because there was that one time before the WEC race, they sent a press thing out to various people, and they actually
put out
managed
the
to
wrong car
completely-
on it.
They put the wrong cars on the whole thing, so I think Enzo Potolicchio was entering a 458 in GTM at the time, and they'd replaced the image of his 458 with the image of his Daytona prototype.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
No word of a
This
lie.
goes to show you they have no idea what they're doing. Honestly.
How on earth do you make that
Another
mistake?
reason why they have no idea how to run, they're supposed to be locals in that area. They constantly schedule the WEC race in September, in the middle of the heat of Texas,
And in college
during
football
the
season.
day when college football is happening in Texas.
I
mean-
take it college football is quite popular in Texas, not
It
being-
is.
having
It's
much knowledge.
Texas.
And do you know what?
That's the only thing they do in Texas.
Do you know what happened? This like the same day they were doing the Coda race, Texas was playing USC,
Yeah, not even like 50 miles down the road.
and do you know what? It's a home court for USC, and yet they decide to put it on daytime.
What was the attendance
Even
for
during the
football?
night, they would still not get a crowd.
Yeah, but
They're idiotic management.
and still, and also, by the way, Texas still lost. Lol.
Good for you.
And yeah, there was also another very big talking point come from that race, coming from Porsche and their usage of team orders, and for the third time in as many
No,
races.
Rob, I think you'll find that it wasn't just Coda where it happened. It's been happening for the last 3 races.
Yeah, I did say not for the something like that. It's like the third time I think after Mexico and Nürburgring, just to favour the car that won Le Mans, even though the number one of Neil Yarni, Nick Tandy and Andre Lotterer had been pretty much the quicker car of the two all weekend.
Right.
And honestly, in all fairness, if they hadn't even bothered with team orders, no one would have even known an LMP1 race was happening at the front. That's how dull it was.
Because Toyota doesn't even do anything.
Toyota has a car that's designed specifically for 2 tracks.
Yep.
Le Mans and Fuji.
Re-
I wish that was a joke, but it's not.
Yeah, that's true. and
And they don't, unlike Porsche, they don't
Oh.
have 2 packages that run on other tracks. It's literally on or off. Like, that's their performance. They're either on it or they're not on it.
It's just as well there were 3 other classes which actually had something called racing going on in them.
What an odd thing in a race having racing.
I seriously hope that the revamp to the LMP1 privateer regulations for next year
Rob,
gives it
Rob,
the
I'll
kick
put
up
it
the
to you this
backside
way.
it needs.
Rob.
That class.
Rob, I'll put it to you this way. You can't go any lower than it already is.
It's a good start. Good start.
You can only go higher. You can't go any lower. Like, literally, this is the bottom.
What if they manage to hit even lower?
They can't. Literally, the only thing that would be lower is having one car.
The Bicolis.
Which is impossible.
No, that'd be the Bicolis, and that'd be out after about 2 hours, let's face it.
I think that's being generous. I'd give it a lap and a half.
It'll be funny. Wow. It'll be
I think we've
Because
all become so
in
mean
fairness,
in this podcast.
no, in all seriousness, the Bicolis isn't even an LMP1 car.
No, it's
No,
just
it
an
isn't.
old Ades LMP2 chassis
It's
with a
an
Nissan
old Ades, yeah.
LMP1 engine in the back.
Unfortunately,
Exactly.
it is.
It's not even a real LMP1 car.
It'd be funny if they only have the Toyotas and that car, and for some reason the Toyota ends
and the
up.
Toyota still lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear.
Then at that point, everyone would just cry.
I'll basically.
Yes.
I think I'll just officially give up on WEC and I'll just focus on IMSA.
But anyway, there was an LMP2 race, I believe, happening.
Yes, thankfully. And there was also a very good comeback driver of note in the GTEM class for the 98 Aston Martin of Paul Dallalana, Pedro Lamy and Matthias Lauda after, during the opening stint with Dallalana at the wheel, he was actually hit by Kazuo in the Clearwater Ferrari, and I think I read somewhere today that it actually may have taken out the power steering.
Wow.
Ooh.
No way.
I'm pretty sure...
On the Ferrari?
No, on the
Aston.
of
Really?
Paul Dallalana. Yeah, I'm just going to quickly double
Wow,
check
okay, that's interesting.
that.
Particularly because he didn't even hit the car, he hit the diffuser.
I think that's enough, I guess.
It sounds a bit dodgy,
Well-
but I mean, I've heard of power steering being knocked out by quite a few things before. I mean, I think there was one time a while ago where, I can't remember what it was, but something fell inside the car and it kind of knocked out the power steering. I think that was at Bathurst a few years ago, but, whatever.
Oh, well, in fairness, those are a lot more sensitive cars, so I guess that's true.
No, not
Yeah.
the V8 supercars, the Bathurst 12 hours.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I've actually found...
You can't ruin a V8 supercar. Those things are literally tanks.
Oh, you
Yes.
think?
I know.
Yeah, and I've actually just found the piece in question. And I'm quoting from Sportscar 365 here. The GTM class-winning number 98 Aston Vantage GC lost more than a minute in the garage undergoing rear diffuser repairs after Dallalana was hit by the 54 car. Saying the 54 car of Castellacci. I thought it was... because I saw... which is a bit odd, because I thought it was Kazuo who hit him, but... Anyways, the Canadian said he had to complete his opening stint without power steering also as a result of it. So unless that was a separate incident I didn't quite catch because of dinner.
Dinner.
In fairness, I don't remember that incident that you'd seen. I only caught like the last 3.5 hours. Thanks, Fox.
This struggle is real with endurance racing fans here in America. Holy.
Which is a completely different rant entirely. Home market, shit coverage, but there you go.
That is going to be an episode one day. The rant special.
The rant special.
There will be no room for any of you. It'll just be me.
No, I'll rant
trust
as
me, I have a
well.
lot of
Oh,
things
trust
to
me,
rant
we
about.
could all have a go at it.
I have a few things to rant after, like, at the end of this, the racing season, because there are a few things that piss me off.
Yeah,
Oh.
so isn't there always? But anyway, going back
was-
to LMP2 and GT Pro.
Yes, we forgot about the two classes where most of the good stuff actually happens these days in WEC.
Seriously, yeah, gotta be snappy about it. Going back to your point, everyone just be quiet for some reason. I don't understand why.
I didn't see the race. So.
I honestly don't.
You missed a good battle in GT Pro and LMP2 because
Ooh.
Signatech Alpine finally got their first win of the season
Oh,
Yay.
Good for them.
in what's looking likely to be their last WEC season.
Yeah.
At the
Good for
moment.
them.
Yes, it's a to be a proper
Sorry, go on.
car I was going to say, when they've built those one-make cars, it will be a proper GT4 car as the GT4 rules were intended. That's all I'm saying.
GT4.
I don't like GT4.
You're something wrong with you, but okay.
It's killing GT3.
I like how you're all upset.
No, I'm gonna finish my point on WEC and
Okay.
then go to your point, Josh. just to be organized. But LMP2 was won by Signatech Alpine, their first win of the season. GTE Pro was won by a Ferrari, I think.
Yes, it was. It was
Right?
the James Collado car, I think.
I was blanking on which AF Corsa Ferrari it was because I can't keep them straight in my head. They look similar. I'm not kidding you. There's like no difference.
That's because they're run by the same team.
You know what I mean? Like there's like no
You cannot separate them.
yellow mirrors or like red mirrors or
Yeah,
whatever.
in fairness,
There's no
that
difference.
would help, I think.
Yeah, it would help a lot.
Like,
Yeah, defo.
like, here's one example.
This is like the trauma of Audi colors again,
Oh God. You should do like with Corvette.
which is annoying considering I was watching the Blancpain race, looking at all the Audis, going, "What the hell are all of them doing silver?" But then they have nice red or yellow or green or orange or red,
Or blue.
and they go, "Huh, they actually were." Oh yeah, and a nice blue one too, and it works. And you're going, "Where the hell were these colors on their factory cars?"
I
In
think
fairness, they did do that in 2011. In fairness, I think one car had black
Yeah, and
detailing,
then
one yellow, and one red.
someone got in corporate colors went, "No, we will have boring cars from here on in."
Hey, Forza. I think one example to make it right with the same livery is Corvette, because they have almost the same livery, but they put like something on top.
No, I think that's because there's a rule that says in America the Corvettes will only be yellow, and they shall only be yellow, and will only ever be
Yeah, but you
yellow.
can tell the difference.
Not really.
You don't.
Actually, I've struggled to tell the Corvette apart in him. So
Oh my.
Mikhail, the only difference is that the shade band on top
That's
of the
what I'm saying.
window is white and black. That's the only difference.
But I can still make.
There is a difference, I'll give you that, but it's not a major difference.
I mean, but still, at least it's not like the Audis.
And I still have a gripe about Corvette and their laziness of their livery, but whatever.
It's. Oh my God.
It's yellow.
Why?
That's it. It's yellow with some stickers on it.
We're gonna have to rant about this next episode.
Yes. But the WEC is finally wrapped up. We're going to move on to a different topic.
So I was going to say, there was also the news today about the Sebring round and what they've now decided to do about it.
Which is absolute confusion, because I still don't understand the news release.
Basically, it's not going to be 12 hours, it's going to run to a distance of 1,500 miles, which means...
Okay, I'm going to stop you there already, because that's a stupid length of distance.
It's
1,500 miles.
Yep.
Really.
which
That
I've
is
worked
idiotic
out to
on
be
the face of it.
It works out at about
No, it doesn't work out.
401.9 laps. And
Wait, how many laps?
401.09 to 2 decimal places.
There you go. It's idiotic. I'm just putting it. 401 laps. It's not even.
how long's that likely to take in terms
Over
of
12 hours.
My
if you-
goodness.
That is not helpful. See, this is why it's confusing. They said the Sebring manager, the manager of the Sebring track. What's his name? I think his name is Chip Estes. Let me double check to see if I have his name correct. But I believe it's Chip Estes. No, I was wrong. It's Wayne Estes. Wrong again. But anyway, he has said that the Sebring 12 hours is the IMSA race, and there will only be one Sebring 12 hours.
Mobile one
and that
12
the
hours
ACO,
of Sebring, powered by Fresh
yeah,
from
the
Florida.
ACO
Fueled by Fresh from
said
Florida,
that this
damn it.
WC, Shut up. The WEC race would be 12 hours. Was only because they were getting headlines. It will not actually be two 12-hour races.
Yeah.
But now you're gonna.
And then they come out with this cockamamie formula of distance and time that makes no sense whatsoever and conveniently takes 12 hours.
It's gonna be
conveniently.
It'll be over 12 hours, and it's not gonna make sense at all.
Can someone explain to me what is the point of a 1,200
It's
100 miles?
1,500.
That's even stupider.
just-
Why not just do 1,000?
It's just
One-
simply because they don't want to call it the 12 hours.
Yeah.
Then do it the 10 hours of Sebring. That's what the Petit Le Mans does already. It's 10 hours, 1,000 miles.
It was, then again,
No one questions that.
back in, it was 10 years ago, they had a round of, I believe it was still the European Le Mans Series back then at Interlagos, and they called it the Milhas, which I think was
No idea what that even means.
Milhas, which I think it
That'll
was
mean-
1,000 or 1,600 miles. I can't remember. I'm just gonna have to quickly double check.
That is idiotic already, and I don't like it. And then there's a reason why it died, because it made no sense.
So I guess we have another rant.
Milhas is 1,000 miles. Yeah. Alright,
so
I
it's
got
only
mixed up.
1,000.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got mixed up between miles and kilometers.
Well, that makes perfect sense as a race distance. A sports car race should either be 2 hours and 40 minutes, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours,
1,000
10 hours, or
kilometers.
12 hours.
Or 20,
Yeah, or 1,000
24 hours.
kilometers. Or 24 hours.
But not this one.
Or in the case of Thunderhill, 25 hours.
Because why
Because
not?
There's no
Thunderhill.
point having a 1,500 mile race. That makes no sense as a distance.
It's probably quite a headache for the spectators trying to arrange it as well, because
Oh, and by the way, it's still going to start at midnight.
oh right,
Oh dear. Oh.
Well, this has
dearie
not gone
me.
wrong.
I think this
So it's not
entire
confusing at all.
next series of WEC's calendar has gone completely haywire, and I've no idea what they're doing.
Oh, speaking of the WEC calendar, brilliant segues into rants, but still somehow organized.
Silverstone's back.
Silverstone
Yes!
Silverstone's
moves into
back.
August of next year.
Yes.
That means it might not actually be snowing for once.
For
unlike
once, yeah.
a couple of years ago.
Boo, I
Mind-
missed the snow.
mind
Go back
you-
to April. Boo.
Having said that, this is Britain and it's summer.
Yeah, see, which would you rather
So
have?
it's going
Snow
to
or would
rain.
you have rain? And heat.
And
You Brits make up
Humidity.
your mind. You can only have either or. You can't have it both ways.
Wow. Okay.
Trust me, our weather will find a way to let us have it both ways. Honestly.
I know. You can have it whether it's snowing and then it's raining.
it's like 2015 where I think I ended up with not being able to feel one of my fingers in the morning and then sunburn in the afternoon.
Yep. Yep. I've had. Days
Sounds like
that.
Silverstone.
Yep.
Well,
Actually,
this.
I had that at Silverstone. You know, it was at the
same
British
here.
Grand Prix this year.
Oh, I do.
On the
Well,
I'm
Yeah.
actually convinced that Silverstone has unique weather to the rest of to the rest of the UK.
I think it does actually. Yeah, at Silverstone this year.
It's very
I was-
exposed. Very
initially-
exposed location.
I initially had my face burnt off, and it was literally the reddest I've ever seen it before. And
You
then,
were a tomato, and then you were freezing.
and
Literally.
then it chucked it down with rain just after the Grand Prix, and I wished I'd brought an umbrella. I got absolutely soaked through. So it was,
Yeah, that sounds like Silverstone.
quite ridiculous actually.
I was the opposite. I went from feeling like I was actually going to be getting frostbite in one of my fingers to looking literally like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer come the end of the European Le Mans Series race.
Oh, that is fantastic.
That is a very
it's-
good analogy.
So you basically looked like you were on the verge of death the whole time.
Pretty much.
So you're saying that we might.
Oh, man.
So when is the Silverstone race?
It's in August.
August of next
Okay, good.
year. Which means it'll either be hot and
Very
raining,
hot.
raining and cold, or raining and hot and cold, or cold, hot, and raining.
Or in rare instances, snow.
Or both, yeah, that. Snow in the summer. It's
It'll be
entirely
very warm
possible.
snow, though, I should point out.
If it
Rain.
Slush.
if it snows
Rain.
at Silverstone, if they manage to do that, and oh god, I just can't imagine the race.
In fairness, I would actually know how that feels, because it snowed where I live randomly, and it wasn't snow, it was slush. It was hot and snowing, it became slush.
I should also point out that I think we'll have to end. Well, we will have to end this in 10 minutes. So I want to briefly bring up Formula One because I know we'll rant about that.
We
Ew,
missed all of it, and now we had to do Formula One.
Oh, well, then I'll just be off then. You three can have a rant. Bye.
Okay, well, of course, if you saw the Formula One race, which quite a few of you will have done, I certainly did, who didn't, then you would have seen that the start was a bit manic. I mean,
A bit
Three of
crashy
the-
and a bit wet.
A bit manic.
yes,
Just a
Oh,
bit
bit.
manic.
Yes, it
not
was.
entirely, utterly bonkers.
Okay.
Just a bit manic.
Okay, can I say this first? Let's make a situation. Imagine.
No, you can't.
No.
Sorry.
Here's the thing. You were playing Formula One 2017 in multiplayer. You're racing in Singapore
Open
in the
lobby,
rain.
I'll
You'd
take
look
it.
like that.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have people like, and then this is basically the same thing. People will hit you in the start, which
You know what? In fairness, Mikhail, I think you might be right. This isn't fairness. This is just someone playing the video game,
basically
and they turned on the rain at
It's-
Singapore.
It's
was-
like Vettel was playing him. It's like Vettel was playing a noob in an open lobby in the rain at Singapore.
basically.
It was actually only the fourth race in F1 history where the front row has been taken out on the first lap. The first of which in 1977, the second in 1990, and the third was actually in 2016, of course, with the infamous Spain accident. But
Jesus.
of course, this one was just utter. I've never seen such a big accident at the start of the race, including so many of the front runners. 4 of the top 8 were out at turn 1. We had, or not at turn 1, but as a result of the turn 1 collision.
No, it was at turn 1.
Well, no, because
pretty
Alonso
much.
carried on for a couple of laps.
Well, they
but-
carried on later,
Somehow.
like Vettel did, but we all know they pretty much were done at turn 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were doomed at turn 1. But yeah, so Vettel and Raikkonen moved over, completely sandwiched Verstappen. I think it was a complete racing incident, really. Vettel was probably predominantly to blame, but he wasn't. I mean, everyone moves over to defend the position at the start like that. We've seen everyone doing that. Hamilton, Vettel, Schumacher, Senna, everyone does it. So that was nothing new. It was just unfortunate this time that Raikkonen had made such a good start and he was up alongside Verstappen. Vettel had no way to have seen that. Everything came to blows and Alonso got completely taken out in
He went
the,
airborne.
in-
He was
in the-
flying.
He was, yeah.
Hover
To
car.
be honest, I was very surprised he wasn't out on the spot.
The way I saw it was that Vettel moved over, and then while Verstappen and Raikkonen were having their own battle, and as a result, Verstappen had nowhere to go because of Vettel's moving over, and then ended up basically doing the one thing you should never do as a racing driver, which is take out your teammates. Even more embarrassingly, before you even actually got to the first bleeding corner.
In fact, I think this is the first time that Ferrari did not even make it to like the first lap together. Like, how would you mess this up?
I have no idea, but what happened after on their Twitter feed?
Oh,
that
no!
controversy.
I don't know if have any of you actually seen that?
I seen it.
I saw the tweet. Ferrari were very quick to tweet that Verstappen had taken out both the drivers. They seemed to suggest that they thought it was deliberate by saying he took out Raikkonen and then went for Vettel.
And
I
then
think that's being generous to their Twitter feed. I don't think it's suggesting that he did it.
They
blatantly
were
said
saying
it was
he deliberately
Verstappen's
took them
fault.
both out.
yeah, and
Um,
then it got better a few hours later after an
Yeah.
absolute storm had broken out on social media and there was a massive backlash. They then replied with, and I quote, "What we tweeted was a factual description of events. No need to speculate on this." And then
Well,
Graham Goodwin, the editor of DailySportsCar.com, replied
write?
and said, I asked an experienced race official what he thought of your tweet, and he is still laughing hours later.
Yeah.
Oh
It-
no!
No point moving on beyond that. Then is there?
No, there's
Mark
way
Webber.
more. There's way more response to this.
Oh,
I think
God,
Mark
'cause-
Webber said it.
Yeah, said the press bloke that's
Oh,
never
I didn't
driven
hear
a
his. What did he
go-kart.
say?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah,
And-
that sounds about right. Actually,
I can't remember who it was who suggested that someone may have had one too many Singapore gin slings.
The
Well,
savagery
says,
is
I
real.
think-
I
the
think
old-
it all just got utterly stupid. Ferrari, of course, were blaming everyone but them.
oh come
Verstappen
on! Of
blamed
course,
Ferrari.
that's literally
like,
what they have to do because they cannot blame Vettel.
Yeah.
And they cannot blame Raikkonen. So they blame the Red Bull because that's the obvious thing to do because they cannot blame themselves because if they admitted they did something wrong, the Italian press would run with it and just go, oh, well, Ferrari's in calamity and it's awful and they don't know what
Wow.
they're doing.
So
Yeah,
basically,
and-
basically,
That is literally what the Italian press does all the
Yeah,
time.
because
so there you
I
go.
think it's Gazzetto dello Sporta.
yeah,
they have
that
to
awful rag of
have-
a newspaper.
They have to have at least one article about Ferrari every day.
Jesus.
Well, of course they do.
Of course they do. It's literally Italian law that there has to be Ferrari
Pretty-
somehow.
Pretty
You
much.
give it a
And
per-
the press in the... Sorry?
You're giving Ferrari too much pressure. Jesus Christ.
Well, now you know why they constantly fire people randomly. Like, oh, well, we've had an awful season. Oh, well, we've had you for 25 years. Oh, well, we have to get rid of you now. They don't like you now.
Wow.
It's like, literally, that is the Ferrari position.
To give you an idea just what an impact this had, I brought a newspaper today. It was
Oh, you sure
a
did.
newspaper in the UK called The Eye. I've posted the photo up in the off-topic media part. And when the Premier League is not the main story on the back page of the newspaper, then yeah,
You know
that's
it's been a big day.
You know it's been a big day. And what I found even funnier is that the way the British press seem to report stuff regarding Formula One is Hamilton. If there's been a crash, lots of stuff about the crash. And then Jolyon Palmer, who recorded his best ever result in Formula One, 6th place, got 17 words. Literally, and I quote,
Rightfully so.
Britain, Jolyon
That's-
Palmer
that's
recorded
normal.
his best ever result after crossing the line in 6th in his Renault. That's all he got.
Well, he doesn't deserve more. It's a fluke.
No, I was saying this before the podcast. He really did put in actually quite a good performance. Let's face it, if the accident hadn't happened at turn 1, he wouldn't have got 6th place, but he would have got 10th still because it was 4 people taken out. So,
Josh, I will disagree with you. No,
but 10th
I don't
place,
agree with you at all.
10th place is a point, and that would have been his only point of the year so
He
far, and probably his only
he
point.
finished 6th because Hulkenberg fell out with hydraulic issues. Who was
Oh,
running
that's true,
4th?
isn't it?
Yeah.
And the other cars in front of him fell out, so that's why he was 6th.
Okay,
He
in that
wasn't
case, he would have
6th
finished
on
11th
merit.
again, and nothing would have changed. But
Exactly.
but I'm trying to think of a but here.
There is no but. He randomly lucked into 6th place. Move on.
Yes.
He didn't earn it on merit.
But at the end of the day, 6th is 6th, so he
Yeah, it'll be his
Yes.
best finish in F1.
He brought
and
it
that'll
home
be
at
his
a wet
best finish,
Singapore.
period.
He brought it
When
home
I
at a wet
was
Singapore.
born-
You couldn't do that, so
That was 1 point 6th place when I was born in 1997. But I think
Well, there you
the
go.
best-
See, that just shows by that math, he's still mediocre.
Yeah.
Savage.
In 3rd place, Valtteri Bottas done a very good job given that his drinks bottle went.
did it?
Yeah, so he had hardly any drink coming through
Ooh,
Damn.
at Singapore of all places.
bother.
Not
Well,
good.
he was kind of aided because it was raining,
Yeah,
so it was less
true.
hot.
And best of all,
Do you-
Carlos Sainz, the new Renault driver for next year.
Carlos Sainz Jr., for those who don't know.
Yes, because his father being Carlos Sainz.
Because there is
legendary
a
rally
Carlos
driver.
Sainz who was a World Rally
My
champion.
granddad
champion.
jumps every time he hears that name, honestly.
Yep, and
Carry on.
he came 4th in the Toro Rosso.
Yes, he did! 4th
And the
place for Carlos Sainz.
celebrations
You want to
were
be impressed
brilliant.
by a result, Josh. That's an impressive result.
Absolutely it is, I must say. Yeah, his best result ever before it was 6th place. Yeah, like, let's face it, he wouldn't have finished fourth if there hadn't been the accident. But who cares?
He was there on merit, though.
Who cares? Yeah.
Best of all, I've found a tweet by Will Buxton who said that Carlos Sainz told him that he's already asked his manager to change the flight he was going to get until the day after so he can go out and party.
Of course.
There you go.
And good for
Rightfully
that,
done.
yeah.
Good on him.
Have you seen his radio celebration?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Vamos,
yeah.
vamos.
My God.
No, I didn't hear it. Is that what he did?
I think he also said boom shakalaka.
Yes,
He
he
did.
did.
Oh, that's
Probably
great.
in a reference to some, I don't know, some
Somewhere
K-pop
from
song,
the-
I
No,
think.
that is great. I love that.
So yeah, Singapore. Probably the most interesting race of the season.
And there was actually something else quite interesting about Singapore, because I had to look on Wikipedia today at the Formula E calendar for next season, and Singapore
Oh, okay.
is
Oh
actually
God! Don't
on
tell
it.
me they put Singapore on
They
it.
did, did
It'll be
they?
a shortened version of the track, but it'll be some of it.
Oh
yeah.
my God! How can you be more dull than the track already is?
No, Formula E can make anything exciting, trust me.
Somewhat.
But no. No. I'm sorry. There are awful Formula E tracks, and if they're cutting in half Singapore, ugh.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't matter where Formula E goes,
Wow,
because
wow.
all Formula E races are pretty much the same difference.
What's the
That's-
wow, by the way? What's the wow?
I've
Yeah,
just
what is
had
the
a look,
wow?
and it says here that the Sao Paulo E-Prix in March next year is actually going to be held at a track which IndyCar fans are going to be familiar with, the Anhembi Sambadrome.
Right.
That isn't a track.
Well, it was a street track which
Literally,
IndyCar
that's not
raced
a
at.
track. They paved over that to put the Olympic paddock in.
Oh dear.
No, that was Hakarapagua at Rio.
That's what you just said, wasn't it?
No,
No.
Sao Paulo.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Lol.
Yeah.
Good.
And also designed by the architect of the Brazilian capital city, Oscar Niemeyer.
Yes, I want an architect to design a racetrack.
Well, he designed the Sambadrome
Oh wait, no, I
part.
don't.
This salt is real.
I
That'd be like getting a racetrack designer to build a building.
Herman Tilke.
Oh God, that's
Actually,
right. I
I
forgot
think
he's an
that-
architect.
Yeah.
I think that I think that racetrack designers will actually be quite good at designing buildings. But yeah. Anyway,
Not if you're Herman Tilke.
Oh,
well maybe he is better at designing buildings. Who knows?
and there was.
If he designs buildings like he designs tracks, I don't want one of his buildings.
Come to think of it, his tracks do look like buildings.
Yes.
Good point.
There you go. There, you just proved my point.
In other news from the Scandinavian Touring Car Championship, Rent-A-Wreck Racing.
What?
Yes, that's the name of the
What?
team, Rent-A-Wreck.
So what?
What?
What did you just say?
Rent-A-Wreck are moving
No.
away
I
from
take
their
it that's
Honda
not
Civic.
spelt- I take it that's not spelt how we're thinking it's spelt.
It's spelt RENT-A-WRECK.
Okay, it literally is spelled Rent-A-Wreck. All right.
Yes, they've had engine
Sounds like
troubles
something
with.
you'd put on a tow truck.
Yep. they
What kind of a company name's that?
I have
don't
no
know.
idea, but either way, they're planning on moving away from their Honda Civic TCR as they've had engine issues all year.
You only wanted to say that so you could get in Rent-A-Wreck Racing. That is the
Yeah.
only
Yes,
reason
I
why
did.
you brought this up.
Hashtag news.
Yeah, that's pretty
in
much
other
why.
news, there is this obscure touring car championship
In
that I want to
Sweden.
talk about. It's Sweden.
Well, mainly in Sweden, they had around in Finland as well. But
Whatever.
In other news,
we're not going to top
completely out
that,
of
are
time.
we? Let's face it.
In other
We're
news,
not
I'm
gonna
completely
top
out of
this.
time and probably should have left 10 minutes ago. So
10 minutes ago, nah.
All right. Oh,
No,
okay.
we should do
to
one more
round it
thing.
up,
One more thing.
to rank.
What?
Okay.
You know what's gonna be coming out in four more days?
No, we're not doing
Project
this. Move
Cars
on.
2, is it?
We're going to be doing a calendar roundup,
Oh.
not Project Cars news.
Ignore Project Cars 2.
Ignore Project Cars 2. We're doing a roundup of the calendar for this
Fine.
weekend.
Oh, here we go. Where is it?
Just as a final word, though, I'm afraid that the Formula 1 Championship is pretty much over with this round. I was actually quite looking forward to seeing Vettel extend his point margin and how much Hamilton could reduce that effect by, but unfortunately, it looks as if everyone has tripped over each other at the prospect of actually being able to beat Mercedes for once. So it looks as if Mercedes have pretty much got the championship in the bag now, Lewis Hamilton in particular, which is quite a big shame because I was looking forward to a close championship that we're no longer going to get. But
We're looking forward for next year?
yeah, next year's going to be a good year, I'm sure of that.
Yeah, next year for Ferrari.
Says everyone about every F1 season. I'm sure next year will be better.
Oh, but this year
Next
was
year
really
was not
good.
better.
Honestly, we said last year that this year would be really
No,
good.
Josh,
It's really
I
lived up
disagree
to
with you
our
again.
expectations.
It's not that great. It's better than it was last year, but it's not fantastic.
I'm actually really enjoying F1 2017. Great year so far.
Only you.
Are you talking about the season or the game?
No, I haven't got the game. The actual season.
Josh, I mean, not Josh. Mikhail, really?
I'm just making a joke. This podcast.
Gonna just... Calendar. We were talking
Yes,
about calendar, and
Yes.
then...
I have a list of some things which are coming up. There is DTM from the Red Bull Ring. We've mentioned IMSA.
Boring.
NASCAR from New Hampshire.
Boring,
Nah.
Will.
Boring.
There's the MotoGP, one of the 4 rounds, I think, in Spain. This
Too
time
few
it's
wheels.
I can't see
Land
it.
Aragon.
It's not on TV here, whatever.
European Le Mans Series racing this weekend, 4 hours of Spa.
Ah, there you go, something proper.
There's the Michelin Road to Le Mans Challenge the day before as well.
Sounds interesting.
Still interesting, but meh.
And what else is there? Of
IMSA.
any
There is
randomness?
the
Yes, IMSA. We did
there is
mention
the
IMSA at
NASCAR
Laguna
Camping World
earlier.
Truck Series.
Yeah, but then you have
There is
IMSA.
the NASCAR Xfinity Series. There's the Monster Energy NASCAR
Yeah, but he
Cup
already
Series.
said NASCAR.
There's the...
He already said
Yeah.
that.
I know, I'm just telling you what's racing. Gah.
Oh yes, there's also TCR Benelux from Mete. I think I've
Ooh,
pronounced
wow,
it
a
right.
track I've never heard of.
I think I've pronounced it right.
You've literally just said an obscure European touring car championship that only runs in Belgium.
And Holland and Luxembourg.
Just rent a wreck race there too.
Yeah,
no,
otherwise I don't
unfortunately,
care.
unfortunately not. No, it's Scandinavia.
Well, then I
No
don't
ways.
care. Stop bringing it up. If it doesn't have that, I don't care.
Actually, in BTCC news, glad that Rob Collard and Will Burns are both okay after the crash in race 1 at
Oh yeah,
Silverstone.
you forgot to mention
Burns
that.
broke ribs, didn't he?
He fractured ribs. Yeah, Will Burns.
Oh my
fractured
god, you're
ribs.
doing it again.
I think you're also.
I said calendar news because Josh has to leave, and
I
you
do,
keep
yeah.
bringing other stuff up.
Stuff
Nah.
the inevitable
I'm
stuff
not going to be able to.
You know what? No, you're all 3 of you are sacked. I'm bringing up the calendar now. It's NASCAR Camping World Trucks on Saturday, and also on Saturday is the NASCAR Xfinity Series from Kentucky, and on Sunday is the Monster Energy Series from New Hampshire. The ELMS is on Sunday. Saturday is the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge from Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Also that day is the Lamborghini Super Trofeo North America from Laguna Seca. And on Sunday is the second Super Trofeo race from Laguna Seca. And the final Sunday race from Laguna Seca is obviously the WeatherTech Championship.
And you're gonna be there.
There you go.
My goodness, you actually got
And
it
I will
done.
be there.
Oh, look for.
There, see?
I admire your productiveness.
Yes. And on that note, we will end
Yes.
before we get sidetracked again.
Right. Fantastic.
So
Memes.
I hope you enjoyed this rant-filled podcast again, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See you then.
Bye.